Now, help me welcome our featured guest. She's a spiritual mentor who employs a combination of energy techniques to connect people to the source within, to live an abundant material life, abundant in health, wealth, love, and freedom, and to create and recreate one's life. My guest today, Tatiana Flo. Tatiana, I am so excited you're on the show today, and I just applaud the work that you're doing. It's going to be great delving down into it and kind of unlocking how people can have and connect with that abundant source within. I'm curious, how did you get started on this path?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, JV. And in terms of how did I get started, it's definitely a lifetime journey. Even as a kid, I was interested in esoterics, philosophy, theology, mysticism. I was reading all sorts of books on psychoanalysis and psychology as well. And then I went into more of positive thinking, manifestations, at the same time doing meditations and some spiritual practices and applying it to create my own abundant life first. And I can see how by doing those internal shifts within, my external life would shift as well, from a poor USSR family to an American dream, living in the Hamptons, New York, in a 5-bedroom mansion, having businesses, cars, and so on and so forth. But 2.5 years ago, what happened is when I was living this American dream, I realized that I'm living an American dream that somebody else defined as success.
Right.
And that realization made me basically change my whole life completely and go search for my authentic dream life. And that's what I'm living right now. And 2.5 years ago, I realized that I collected so much knowledge that I cannot not share it with people anymore. So I started to do life coaching, hypnotherapy work, and now I'm doing energy work as well on top of everything to connect people to the source within, to remind them their true nature and that there is an infinite abundance in this universe you can tap into and bring into your daily life.
Well, it's so interesting because your path and mine have some commonalities. At the age of 2, I had an uncle die one night, and what I called at the time an angel, so let's just say an evolved being, showed up and connected with me. He was translucent. I could see the evolved being, but see through it at the age of 2 and explained death to me. So by the time I was 4, I was sitting all my parents' friends down, wanting to have deep theological discussions about the nature of God, because I had figured out, I got to figure this one out. And by 5, because we didn't have any money, I decided I'd be a millionaire and got there at 25. But then about 3 months into that journey, I had the beautiful home, I had Mercedes, I had all that stuff. And I had just enough money early enough to realize that wasn't it. And yet I have large financial goals, but the financial goal is not it. It's the impact. It's living that life is the journey that you're talking about. It's being connected to source. It's creating a difference on the planet. That is what gets me up in the morning. And if you can do it and create wealth and have a completely balanced life as well, I think that's the treasure point. I want to start with a definition. We said that it's about finding the abundant source within. Can you define what you mean by that? And then let's kind of unravel how to do that.
Yeah, first of all, I want to clarify that what I mean by abundance. Okay. First of all, that internal abundance that radiates into the external world. And it's abundance in love, relationship, health, wealth, everything around you. We're meant to be free, abundant, and happy, and enjoy this beautiful life on this planet, in this body, through our senses. And some people are too materialistic, thinking that only what they see is there. And those people usually lack some fulfillment in life. And I can see those people suffering deep internally, no matter regardless the amount of money they have on the account. And then there are other people that are very spiritual, denying material realm and
Yes.
pleasures. And there is also imbalance in that, because that creates health issues, money issues, and so on and so forth. So I believe that spiritual and material is one. There's no need to separate it. And you go into spiritual world, into this infinite abundance, to live it and to bring it into the material realm. That's what we're here for.
Well, you know, I've lived and been a part of different spiritual communities. I've lived at a Buddhist monastery. And one of the things that I discovered in that process is people would talk about having abundance, that they had huge money problems and literally couldn't pay the rent. And of course, I came from the background where I'd been a millionaire at 25, and I'm going, something is wrong with this picture.
Yes.
How can you say you're living in abundance, but you can't pay the rent? And I found that exactly what you found, that there's different slivers, so to say, of this conscious millionaire community, when there are people that are steeped in consciousness, but have huge issues about money, and in fact, beliefs that it's wrong. So they, of course, they can't attract it and they can't bring to the source. And then people who have money, but haven't yet quite connected to that source inside. So like some clients I work with are very wealthy, but as they would say themselves, they haven't come home or learned to love themselves. What do you think is the secret of bringing them together? Because that's really the work you do.
Well, first of all, stop separating and realizing that everything in your life, everything in this universe is here for us, including money. Money is here for us as a mediator to exchange ideas, exchange different goods, experiences, services between people. It's so convenient. Thank God we came up with this idea of money, and money developed over time as well. Behind that, money is just an energy as everything else. So of course, when you say money is a bad thing and money is dirty, you know, you can't attract that into your life. And there are other people that attract money, but they bring too much importance of the number, of the status, without fulfilling themselves. And when the connecting would be bringing that external abundance through internal abundance, living a purposeful life. And then money is there for you, first of all, to enjoy your own life, the quality of life, to fulfill yourself with joy and love and happiness. And then secondly, you can use this money for good purpose, to help others and promote themselves and show that it's possible to combine both. And
there's a lot in what you just said, and I want to unpack a little bit of it. One of it that I think needs to be brought out is gratitude, that we have gratitude for. I find that gratitude attracts wealth. It attracts everything, health, it attracts everything.
Yes.
Also, I'd like to know more, because you do Kundalini activation energy sessions. I'd like to talk about that for a moment, because I'm fascinated with all types of energy work, but I specifically would like to know about your Kundalini activation sessions.
Thank you so much for that question, JV. Well, basically, Kundalini is the energy of life, love. It's a divine energy of the whole creation. It's everywhere. Everything is energy. And in different cultures, it would call differently. Kundalini is Indian. In Egypt, it would be called Ka. Some people define it as God, the absolute, the source, whatever it is. It's that one energy that connects all of us. And the work I do is basically by setting an intention within the sessions with my clients, whether it's private sessions or group sessions, clients come to me already open to receive that energy in a more intense way. And I
want to pause there just for a moment, Kundalini, because you said clients come to you open. So you're attracting people who are open to this process. And I'm curious because you might be listening and saying, well, I want to attract people who are certain open to this, but I seem to attract people that are closed to the work that I'm doing. What do you think is the secret of attracting those right clients? And by that, I mean, in your situation, they're open. Like in my case, if somebody hasn't opened the door to wanting to tap into more of their mind and consciousness and get a bigger vision and build a bigger business, because they realize it starts from the inside, not the outside, there isn't much that I can do to help them because they're not open to it. But I find I'm attracting more open people. How do you attract those open people?
Anything you create in your external life, it comes from the internal world. External life is just a mirror of your internal game. So I decided for myself that that's kind of clients I want to work with. And there are different masters and coaches and many different informations for different kind of people on their life journey. And I personally I am interested to work with these specific clients that are already opened and ready to bloom and ready to find that source within and live the truth they remember, and bring it further to their clients, to the world, to the people around them. That's the kind of work I want to do, and that's what attracts it. It starts from the internal intention, what I want to do, what brings me joy, and the most impact I can make.
Well, I was about to ask that question. You got to joy. Joy for me is, at least so far, it's the deepest emotion that I have learned to experience. It seems to be at the core. And when you get to joy, it's like you're home. You're at home base. You're living on purpose. You're getting aligned so that your purpose is aligned with your vision, your products and services, the clients. It all has to be aligned, but it starts with that source that is, and you're bubbling up with joy. That's how I know that I'm on the right path, is if I'm not bubbling up with joy, something's off. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So many people live out of fear, and fear freezes us from action, and we become miserable, but people don't change anything out of fear. So, and there's no joy in their life. That's how you're not in, and the energy is drained. They don't feel any energy to get up and go through the day because they don't like the work they're doing. They don't like the life they're living. So we're here again to enjoy life, to have this joy in life, whatever we're doing every day, and that brings your energy up. Living with joy brings your energy up, and that gives you an energy to share with the world. Whatever you do, whether you're a singer, a dancer, an artist, a Kundalini activation energy worker, an actor,
or as most of our
finance specialist, doesn't matter. If you enjoy it, you can share it. If not, then you're not on the wrong path. You need to change that.
And if you're listening, you're probably an entrepreneur or business leader. That's who we attract here at Conscious Millionaire. And when you're building your business from a place of joy, where, I think one of the things that gets missed, and it's one of the places I've begun working because it's so missed, is the culture. You need to have a culture where people are activated to live at these higher levels of joy, and they're constantly thriving. Because ask yourself simply a simple question: which company is going to grow the best? One where everybody working there is excited and thriving and growing and becoming and living the truth of who they are, and they all work together? Or one where everybody's, almost you take out a whip and you go, okay, you got to sit at the desk and you got to do this, you got to do this. Which one's going to create greater productivity? Which one's going to create the most exciting products and services? Which one is going to thrive? Before we go to break, I'd love to hear a little bit more about how someone can get in touch with you to set up one of your Kundalini sessions.
So I have a website, tatianaflow.com, and all information is there. Instagram account is Tatiana_Flow. And you can set up a free discovery session with me first to see if we are a good fit energetically. You tell me your intention for transformations. I tell you how I work, because I combine different modalities, NLP, hypnotherapy, and energy work all together to combine your heart and your mind for the deepest transformation possible in your life. So the whole information is there, and it's easy to reach me. I'm always very responsive.
What's the challenge here for everyone listening today?
The challenge, the main challenge, or what everyone is looking for in their life, every single person on earth is looking for one thing. Everyone, love. But they are looking for in the wrong places. They're looking for love externally from their parents, their kids, their co-workers, friends. When you find love within, God within, source within, then you have that center that regardless what's happening in your life, you're living in bliss because you're grateful for life as an experience.
And now it's time for the Conscious Millionaire Limitless questions. And Tatiana, I always start with mindset, because I think as human beings, that's where things really begin. What's the mindset you've created that's helped you identify and attract the right business opportunities?
Well, first of all, the mindset we already discussed, doing anything I choose to do in life with joy and pleasure. And that brings me energy to go for it. And also, I choose not to feed my fears whatsoever. I just choose not to give my fears any energy or focus. If it arises, I understand that they arise because now I'm going to expand. And I'm just going towards evolvement and expansion through any fears arising. And there's always such a beautiful feeling beyond that when you choose to live out and act out of love, not out of fears.
Well, and I want to comment on that. I think it's a great path. It's very similar to mine. I live in deep flow and create a sea of synchronicity. And when you're in deep flow, you're living from love, you're living from joy. And the magic of life is given space. That's important. I want you to hear that. You're giving space for the magic to show up.
Yes.
Right. And if you're trying to control every moment, and I know for us as entrepreneurs, trust me, I've had to learn this lesson as much as you're learning it, that it's in that place of rigid control that we destroy everything, because the bountiful abundance comes from us allowing and living in gratitude and simply letting the day unfold. Like people, we changed the schedule that I thought I had, but I've realized a long time ago, oh, we weren't supposed to meet today. That's fine. We'll meet when we're supposed to meet. You know, I have a major question I want to ask you. I call it the limitless mindset question. Tatiana, if you were going to become a billionaire within 10 years, what's the impact and the scale of that impact you'd want to make on humanity, and who must you become?
I would definitely be still myself and doing the work I do, helping people to connect back to their true nature. Just with billions of dollars, I would be able to do it on a higher level, shooting movies about that, TV shows about that, and so on and so forth. I would keep doing what I'm doing now, because I strongly believe that if every single person on the planet remember their true nature, which is love itself, there won't be wars, there won't be fights. Like, people would just not do that because they would be conscious and loving creatures.
You know, I'm curious because I know that you do a lot of practices, but what's one practice you could share that helps keep you on a growth path?
Definitely the gratitude. And we discussed that every morning, first thing in the morning. Don't focus what goes wrong. Be grateful for what you already have. Truly, sincerely grateful. Even if you have nothing, you have life. You are breathing, you are living. Start from there. And then it unfolds. Through the gratitude, you can attract all abundance in the world. But when you focus on what's lacking, what's missing, you attract lack. You attract what you focus on. So through the gratitude, you attract abundance.
And what I heard was you may have nothing on the outside, but on the inside, you have infinite abundance that you can then utilize to manifest on the outside. And that's what you're saying to focus on. Well, you've got a book, Elegantly Simple.
Well, this is a pocket-sized book with collection of the truth that opened to me. And I just grounded it in words because I needed, first of all, for myself, how the universe works, how the energy works, how can you reach that state of freedom and consciousness and expand and live that source and abundance. So that's what the book is about. But I also believe that, one thing is to hear or to read about that, and another thing is to actually experience that. And in my sessions, you experience this altered state of mind and this expanded consciousness that I'm talking about in the book. So through experience, it goes really deep into you.
And what's the book you'd like to recommend?
I would like to recommend a book that's called Masters in Your Energies. I love that book because it does talk about how the energy is changing right now. And it's true how more and more people are awakening and everyone becomes their own masters within. And that's what I do for people. I help them to unfold the way that they remember they are masters of their life and they know everything. All knowledge is within and it's accessible. And I teach them or show them how to access that infinite knowledge that is within.
I'm curious, what's the biggest challenge you're dealing with, either in your business or just reaching that next level?
The biggest challenge I'm dealing with? What a great question. Because I don't see the challenges the way how usually people see them. I just don't have them. I see them as an opportunity to evolve, and I seek for them in a way to evolve even more every day.
So what's one thing that a shift that you could make in your business? I'll put it that way. A shift that I could make in my business, probably expand it more and more and just reach more and more people. And it's a path. It's a path, and it's also kind of choosing again your mission, your vision over any fears that rise up. Because before I would have a fear, oh my God, what people say, I'm an energy worker. After I was in finance, right? Is she cuckoo? Yeah. Is it okay to do that? And I realized that all that judgment is me judging myself. That's it. Right. That's it. And as I started to do that sincerely from my whole heart, so many people are so grateful for the work I'm doing. And it's an absolutely different fulfillment compared to the finance job that is normal that I've done before. You can't even compare it. So just moving forward, expanding more and more, regardless what my fears are saying, just not choosing them. Right. Well, I want to congratulate you on living that truth, that authenticity of who Tatiana actually is. Once again, if you'd like to learn more about the Kundalini activation energy sessions, just go to TatianaFlow.com. And if you're driving, I got your back. I want you to be safe. Just go to ConsciousMillionaireShow.com. And the show is Finding the Abundant Source Within. We'll have all the ways to get in touch with Tatiana, including social media. But one final question. What's the legacy that you want to leave?
The truth. Being honest with yourself first, and through that with the whole world, and living from a place of love.
Well, Tatiana, I've thoroughly enjoyed having you on. I know that if you spend time with Tatiana, you'll get the same kind of really beautiful energy that I'm getting. And I want to thank you for showing up. As you know, there are no accidents. This is exactly what you needed right now at this moment. And without you, it's not a podcast. It's just Tatiana and I having a conversation. You are what makes it a podcast. So I want you to know I'm grateful that I have people like you who want to learn this material. I look forward to connecting with you on our next Conscious Millionaire. Tatiana, thank you again for being our featured guest today.
Thank you so much, JV, for having me. I had a wonderful time.